Hello, welcome to episode 4 of The Drive. Something I've been thinking about lately is purpose and intention. This is spurred due to some homework basically in the staff portion of my jiu-jitsu school. I'm an instructor in a morning classes, and I really enjoy the opportunity to better myself and help others better themselves. And something that has come up, and it's completely voluntary, is other people see things and they say, hey, I think you might do this, and maybe you could teach others how to do this. And something someone suggested to me was training with purpose and intention. And I'm going to try to relate this to more in life than just jujitsu. This isn't just a jujitsu podcast, although that is a very large portion of my life, so you're going to get a whole lot of it. But if you're listening to this, you probably know that already. So, purpose and intention. I think these get mixed up the same way that strategy and tactics do. The bigger thing and then the smaller way that you get to that big thing. So, strategy, your overall arcing plan, tactics, how you make that plan happen. Same thing. Purpose, why you are doing something, intentions, how you're going to do that thing. So, in life, this is probably most easily illustrated in my work, in my career. I'm a parts advisor. It's a pretty niche job. It's very easy to dead end in it. It's very hard to advance unless somebody quits, fires, or is fired or dies. Usually, like, people don't move up because it's a very shallow position. It's usually the day-to-day level and then a manager. That's it. And I was pretty burnt out with the company I was with when I first moved here to New Jersey. I'd been with them for 7 or 8 years, I think, when the owner of the company, who had cancer, passed away, and he knew he was going, and he was looking for someone to sell the company to so that he could provide for his kids and make sure that the business stayed open and people would have their jobs. He was a pretty good guy. I don't think the environment he created was wonderful, but as a person, he was a pretty good guy and he looked out for others. So I was one foot out the door at that point, was looking into other fields, when all of a sudden this new group bought our dealership, and now it's part of a dealer group, and there are opportunities to move. And I had for a long time not liked my job at all. I was pretty burnt out, pretty bitter, and just knowing that there was possibilities was a breath of fresh air. So I started to come to work. My purpose was to make this a place that I wanted to work, make it a better department, more efficient, happier, and eventually move up within the rungs of the ladder in the company. So I came to work with intention. I came to work trying to find a way to do things better every day, become more efficient. I started making it a point to reach out and help others have a better time at work, to help them become better at the job, but just not have a crappy day. And those little intentions really went a long way. We're making more money as a department now. Some of that is just inflation and the economy, but we've gotten best of the best for Mercedes 2 years running now, which is a big deal. And we've really truly made a difference. So the whole dealership is running better because different management. But I think you see a lot of people stepping up and taking on bigger issues now because they know that they are being empowered to. And I think having that purpose has really flipped the switch for me on how I view my job, which is where I spend the majority of my day and really affects a big portion of my life. is gone from being a burnt out, bitter, done with this career person to being like, I'm in it. I want to make this the thing. I really want to succeed at this and use it as a platform to develop myself so I can step into other things if given the opportunity to, whether it's in the same career or something else. And I think having that purpose of specifically making the place and the day better and finding ways to better myself to achieve that has made a big difference. And to bring it back to jujitsu, how do you figure out your purpose and intentions on the mat? So, jujitsu is all about controlling your opponent, keeping yourself safe, being the person generally on top who is able to tie up their opponent and either control their body to be safe or control their body to the point that you can cut off blood flow or air to the brain, or control a limb to the point that you can tear tissue or in extreme cases break bone. And that's it's basically what we try to do every day. And it can sound grandiose. It could also be like, these people are playing around. And I think there's a little bit of both. Like, we are very playful. We're doing things that could truly hurt people if you're not in control of yourself and your partner or opponent. So how do you figure out purpose and intention amongst that? Purpose, I think you have to ask a lot of whys. And usually people will have some idea of why they came to jiu-jitsu. It sounded like fun and influencers are talking about it. Fair enough. I was assaulted and I don't ever want to feel helpless like that again. Okay. I want to be able to protect myself and my family. Gotcha. I want to lose some weight and this seems like a good way to do it and everybody talks about it. Okay. I want to continue what I've been doing. I was a wrestler and now I'm done with college and there's not really any great outlets. Okay. So there's a lot of different things that could bring you to the mats, and those could be your purpose. I think the bigger ones, so like I'm weird. Mine is I want to better my life and I want to use this as my lab to figure myself out and figure out how to better myself. Let's just take self-defense because that's probably the most straightforward and people can relate to that one. Your purpose is to learn how to defend yourself. What are your intentions on the mat that are going to make that happen? So you should approach it every day. I think you should still have fun and you should be able to enjoy yourself on the mats, but you need to have focus in mind that no matter what is being taught that day, how does this keep me safe? What specific things can I do to, if I have to use this in real life, to keep myself from being hurt? And great little points along the way are, if I know this is my intention, well, the biggest thing I don't want is for somebody to beat my head in. If you go unconscious, you're done. So head control, you want to prevent head control. You want to be aware of your opponent's hands. Like, the hands are usually the thing that are going to get you. If you're knocked on the ground, they can kick you, obviously. But if you're grappling, usually people have laid hands on you and you've fallen to the ground together. So you want to prevent them from being able to rear up and strike you. So you should always be aware of hands. You should always be aware of trying to get around behind the person so they can't get to you, or being on top of the person so you can nail them down to the ground and they can't get to you. These little intentions, these little things that you are constantly thinking about will go a long way towards helping you with self-defense. It's very easy in our sport to turn it into a sport and get into these really complex, entangled positions that could be the game changer if you're doing this for fun and you're having fun every day and you want to win that round. Yeah, you can get into some really complex stuff that is very sport related and very cool, and it is effective, but is it still effective if the person can just pick you up and slam you on your head, or they're allowed to strike you? A lot of the times, no. So you have to keep clear in your head what your intention is so you don't drift off into doing some of this crazy leg entanglement stuff that does not prevent them from bending over and just punching you in the face. That's the way you have a purpose and intention. That's why you can check in with yourself. And if you are truly into, like, I don't ever want to be vulnerable again, you need to be doing more than just jiu-jitsu. That's something you need to think about as well. Jiu-jitsu is wonderful. I love it. It's not magic. It is a bit of a superpower, but it is not magic. And it's not going to protect you from somebody who is 200 pounds heavier than you. You need to know some striking arts, just basic kickboxing if nothing else. You need to be in shape. You should probably be pretty good at running if you're a smaller person. And honestly, if you want to level the playing field and you're able to in the state you live in, you should have a firearm and know how to use it. And you should be responsible enough to, if you're going to put holes in people, know how to patch them up as well. There's a whole lot that goes into protecting yourself. It's more than just being on the mats. But if you're using jiu-jitsu as part of it, you should keep yourself focused on self-defense and not allow yourself to get drawn into other things. And that's a hard part with purpose and intention, is you can have a purpose, but as you're going in that journey towards that purpose, it's easy to get distracted by the new shiny things, or with good intention start to follow a little side path that can add on to it, but get drawn down the side path to the point that you are no longer aimed at your purpose. So yeah, this is a shorter one. This is me still hashing things out for how I want to present this for my homework, essentially. But I think it makes a huge difference into how quickly you excel in work, at home, in all aspects of life, on the mats, whatever your sport is, to have a purpose and to know that purpose and to be focused on that purpose and find the ways, build the intentions every day that are going to lead you toward it. And if you listen to these and people actually want to talk to me and get some dialogue, if I know you, hit me up. If I don't know you, comment. We can have a conversation and we can go back and forth. I'd love to learn some new techniques. If you think this is all BS, let me know that too. I'm open to some dialogue. All right. So thank you for listening. Hope to see you again next time. If you train, I'd love if you come train at Princeton Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We would love to see you. Bunch of good people. It's a great school. There's always 2 free trial classes. Love to have you drop in sometime. All right, that's it for me. Take care.